What's going on, boys and girls? The SEC Media Days are off and running. And today we had Eli Drinkwitz, Jimbo Fisher, and Brian Kelly. And lucky for you, the bvdtv viewers, I happen to have Jimbo Fisher with me on the show today. So I hope you enjoy this brief discussion with Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo, talk a little bit, if you would, about the program you work for, and just talk about the things that are important to you. Well, that's no problem there, BBD. I like to trust in the process. I like to trust also in the $70 million buyout that I've got, because that way they can't fire me, and if they do, I'll be set for life. I go back to the way my parents raised me. My daddy was a miner, and there was a big explosion, but we don't want to talk about that because we had 5 games last year that were inches away from being wins and not losses, in which case we would have probably won the SEC West, but we didn't, because games were five of them that were lost by inches. And I have to trust in the process. If you don't trust in the process, even when you lose, then what's the point of even trusting in the process? Because it's trust that your mom and daddy instill in you when they're young, and your daddy works in the coal mine. I come from a coal mining community, kind of a lot like Nick Saban and his daddy, Big Nick. My daddy was Big Dick, not Big Nick. If they'd have been the same, it'd have been Big Dick Nick, but it ain't. It was just Big Jimbo is what we called him. Jimbo worked in the mines, and there was a big explosion, and I like to lean on my past. I lean on what I was taught, and I trust what I was taught, and my coaches trust what I trust in them, and my players entrust in the trust that I've instilled in them. Because if you don't have trust to go back to the process on, that you lean on your trust, then you ain't got nothing to go back on. And when we lose 5 games by inches, there's a lot of inches. Well, there's a lot of inches in every league, but in this league especially, there's a lot of inches where you lose and win a game. Just ask Alabama last year. They lost 2 games by inches. And, we're not Alabama, so I don't want to talk about that. I do have a $7 million buyout, so I'm pretty comfortable no matter what happens. I can either keep my job or I can spend $70 million. It don't really matter to me, because either way I trust in the process. My mom and daddy taught me growing up, because it was my mom and daddy that I leaned on with the trust. And if you don't have trust, you don't have anything. Anything else? Yeah, Jimbo, just talk a little bit about the process and the trust. I think we got a good football team. We go back to last year. We lost 5 games there at the end. Inches makes a difference. I go back to the way I was brought up with my mom and dad. The mine explosion. You can't lean on that when you play football. We got 78% of our people returning from last year. That's 6 best in all of the FBS. We got a good football team. We got good recruiting classes. We got. It all goes back to the process. You can't get upset if you lose. You don't get. Yeah, well, I get upset if I lose. In that moment I'm upset, but you can't get upset if you lose. You just got to go back to the process, trust what you believe in, tell you coach your players up, get your coaches to coach your players up, coach your coaches up, and it all goes back to the way my mom and daddy raised me. I believe in what I was taught, and I believe in what I'm teaching these kids, and these kids believe in what we're teaching them. He goes back to what he believes in. You got to trust what you believe in. Believe in the process, and when things don't go your way, you don't win, you lose. There's a lot of inches in this. There's a lot of inches in every football league, but you just got to trust in what you believe in, trust in what you're teaching the kids. The kids trust what you're teaching them, and your coaches trust what you're teaching the kids that you're teaching. You got to teach the kids what you trust, and you got to trust what you're teaching them, because trust is all you got in this league. And we got 78% of our returning people from last year. And we went 5-7, didn't make a bowl game, but we had 5 close games there at the end. We lost. The inches make the difference. There's a lot of inches in this game, a lot of inches in this league. It's a tough league we play in, and we recruited well. We got a lot of 78% of our players coming back, and I just believe in what my mom and daddy taught me. What my mom and daddy taught me is what I believe in. That's the process. There's a big mine explosion. We can't go there. Can't talk about that. But we talk about what my mom and daddy taught me growing up. And that's what I believe in, and that's what I trust in. And I trust in what I believe in, because what I believe in is what I trust. And if you don't trust what you believe in, you can't trust who you believe in that's believing in what you trust. You see what I'm saying? You got to believe in the process. And when things don't go your way, you go back to the drawing board. You keep on teaching what you've been teaching, because the kids trust what you're teaching them, and you got to trust what you trust that you're teaching your kids. It's that simple. Have a good day. Hug your mom and daddy. Love you, mean it. Go Vols, screw y'alls.